and a sense of camaraderie that helps everything go easily. Already well into the morning, the local village people have started their day's work. We, on the other hand, can afford a leisurely stroll along the trail. We take the time to notice Nepal's animal life, a veritable Noah's Ark with 800 species of birds. That's more than all the birds in North America. An amazing 10% of all the species of birds found on the planet are here in Nepal. Regardless of where we go, the people are as fascinated with us as we are with them. Their welcoming and gracious presence makes our trek an effortless experience. We pay our respects at the local shrine and absorb all we can of the rural lifestyle and beautiful countryside before we set off for the next leg of our trip. New sights, smells, and sounds are awaiting us, to be found just a short distance away. We cross the river and head right into the heart of legendary Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal. Our next guide is Anil Kerala with Amtour Vacations.
As a tour guide, I'm going to show you 3 palace squares in Kathmandu Valley. So these 3 palace squares is known as, Kathmandu is known as City of Glory, and Patan is known as City of Beauty, and Bhaktapur is known as City of Devotees.
Throughout the many squares, you can see an artistic and architectural tradition that rivals anything that you'll find in the great cities of Europe. Amidst the hundreds of temples and shrines are extensive crafts and souvenir shops and stands. Today, the valley's 3 cities create a unified cultural and racial melting pot. These amazing places seem to blend into one intricate city, unchanged since the Middle Ages, but they are rushing into the 21st century. Fortunately, the temperate climate makes sightseeing easy. The various Hindu and Buddhist shrines, shiatas, statues, and sculptures are dedicated to different religious figures, gods, and goddesses. The Nepali mingle Hinduism and Buddhism in such a way that it is often impossible to separate, and there are even a pantheon of tantric deities blended in. One structure is the Kamari Bahal, a 3-story building with carved wooden balconies where, if you are lucky, a young girl considered a living goddess may appear, but we're not allowed to photograph such a goddess. Clustered in each palace square are a number of temples and shrines to visit. Even the rhesus macaque monkey is comfortable in this urban setting. These and other monkeys are wild, but are fairly treated by the local population, and they are so numerous that it is impossible to know which one to watch. While their antics could absorb us all day, we proceed to other locales to get a fuller understanding of the rich cultural and historic traditions found in the cities. Intricate wood carvings rival the stonework. Fortunately, the earthquake in the 1930s didn't destroy all of the lovely buildings. There is certainly plenty of activity all around these pagodas, shiatas, and stupas. Next to the older structures are newer government buildings in European styles, many of which are now museums. The eccentric collections include a number of treasures, some pieces dating to the 1st century BCE. There are many unique Asian artifacts and works of art. Our next stop is the Jawalakal Tibetan Refugee Center. Of the over 120,000 Tibetans in exile, about 12,000 of them are in Nepal, mostly in Kathmandu and Pokhara. Pasang Shoshor, general manager of the camp, explains.
In 1959, the China forcefully occupied Tibet, After occupation of Tibet by China, His Holiness the Dalai Lama had to come to India as a refugee. Along with him, many thousands of Tibetans came in India, and Nepal, and Bhutan. Many of the Tibetans stayed back here in Nepal. His Majesty's government of Nepal has very kindly granted and allowed to stay the Tibetans here. And so, for the settlement, this settlement was established in 1960 with the financial assistance from International Red Cross and Swiss government. So for the livelihood of the Tibetan refugees, those who came from Tibet and who were settled in this, is fully depending on this handicraft. So we have here all this spinning, we have dyeing, we have carpet weaving, and then we have showroom this thing. No? So all this, in this camp we have about 1,000 Tibetans are here. Our Tibetan aims are also that we are struggling and we are trying to get our independence back. As soon as we get independence, most of the Tibetans will go back to our own country.
Moving through the city streets, we discovered that every form of transportation is used, from walking to electric buses, motorcycles, tractor carts, and vans. We are headed to the airport for our next trek, this time by air to the Himalayas, the Sanskrit word meaning the abode of snows.
Captain Sunil Pradhan. Everest here almost has 2 to 3 mountains flights every day. We take the tourists, we take the passengers all the way to Mount Everest and back. And while doing this, we're showing you all the high peaks. And in Nepal, we have almost all the highest peak in the world, except number 2. That's Mount K2, that's in Pakistan. But the rest, the highest peak, Mount Everest, Lhotse is the 4th highest, Nuptse, Makalu is the 5th highest. So almost all the highest peaks we have in Nepal. So we try our best to show all the Himalayan peaks to the tourists. And on top of that, we try to provide an air hostess on board, whose duty is to help the passengers to identify the peaks. We have advantage of flying into the valleys. We go into narrow valleys from where you can have a very close view. The closest any other airline will ever take you.
We may not be able to climb over 29,000 feet to the top of Mount Everest, but we are thrilled to have gotten as close as we did to the top of the world.
Yeah.
And this is the Everest Air Sky Trail to Everest. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful flight. From the highlands to the lowlands, our journey takes us to the Royal Chitwan National Park. Here, deer and over 50 species of animals find protected habitat in the 1,431 square kilometers of grasslands, rivers, and hardwood forests. The colors, shapes, and actions of the insects here are a delight to watch. From the Chitwan Jungle Lodge, we leave for a nature walk. Our expert biologist and naturalist, Sanjay Singh, points out unique characteristics of the animals and plants, especially owls, and some of the other 400 species of birds to be found in the park.
We have many different kinds of flowers, different kinds of plants, different kinds of trees, which have special purposes. The name of the plant that you see is known as bhati in Nepali, and the botanical term is Chlorhodendron viscosum. Well, it has a medicinal property. And what we do is we make a funnel shape and cover it up with many leaves until it is quite thick, and we put burning charcoal inside. After some time, due to the heat, a kind of juice comes out from the stem, and you can collect the juice and put it inside your ear and get the tick out. The juice is very pungent, and because of that it suffocates the tick inside and it releases, and you can feel it